皆さんこんにちは and welcome to Let's Ask Shogo. So today I thought, in my past podcasts, I already talked about the good things about Kazu and good things about Tomoko. I thought, wait, I have not talked about Harumi, my own wife. It's for me. It's because what's great about Harumi, my own wife, it's just so obvious to me that I really forgot about the occasion to talk about it in a podcast. But come to think of it, I actually received I think it was a comment saying that Shogo, aren't you going to be talking about Harumi too? Right after I posted Tomoko's story, so I thought, yeah, I'll be very very happy to talk about that. I'm really sorry if you really feel that a lot of my podcasts, the themes that I pick up are quite not completely negative at all, but sometimes they're not always really really happy. So today, though, I'm going to be talking about the person I love the most on this planet. So I'm going to be very happy talking about today's topic. And you know what? Maybe at the end, I'll talk about three things, by the way, that I think is amazing about Harumi in terms of how she takes part in the work of our team, by the way. But in the end, I'd like to talk a little bit about why I love my wife so much too, by the way. So the three things I think that is amazing about Harumi in terms of, well, business, I guess, business-wise or work. There's three things, but we'll start from number three. Number three and number two are actually almost the same, but number three is sense of design and creativity. So she is the person in our team who has studied on design, web design, graphic design, and such. So everything that you see in our channel, first of all, our video editing, our thumbnails, the channel art, everything has been checked by Harumi. So Harumi is like the design leader of our team. Yeah. And the thing is, it's not just that she has actually studied it before, but she really already has a sense of design and creativity in her mind. It's like not just because you've studied, the logic of creating design and such, it doesn't always mean that you'll be really good at it, right? Yeah. So I really think that she had the potential in her in the first place, So everything, she doesn't even have logic sometimes, but she's able to think up of a really good design, and give birth to a really what should I say, fashionable thumbnail, or everything that you see is really based on Harumi's idea. And of course, Tomoko, though, as I've explained before, she gets done things the fastest. She is the biggest engine of our team, right? And she is also a super fast learner. So basically, Tomoko has learned a lot from Harumi. And Harumi, though, one thing is that Harumi is the person that takes the most amount of time to get things done, though. And she forgets everything, too. Which I personally love very much because I love her. Yeah, but she's like the kind of person who's like, oh my gosh, I forgot to do that. The next day, oh my gosh, I forgot to do that kind of thing, And we always need to keep all of our tasks on, like, what should I say, written somewhere down for her, like on her computer or something. Otherwise, she'll forget everything. And she does take a lot of time to create new things, but it's because she is the person who is responsible of giving birth to new things, if that makes sense. And Tomoko is the person who, once that new idea or new design or new system is born, she's the person that runs it the fastest in our team, kind of balance here. Yeah, but anyways, all of the design and everything in our work that we do, YouTube channel and thumbnails and such, are all thanks to Harumi. And what's amazing is that in the future, if we ever create a separate website or such, Harumi will be able to create websites too because she codes. So yeah, we're looking forward to that too. Yeah. And number three was that, right? Number two is actually concentration. Concentration is incredible for Harumi, especially when she starts to do something, she really gets in the zone. I think that would be really close to like artists, I guess. I am the complete opposite. I'm the person who lacks concentration. There is no concentration in me. It doesn't exist. The word doesn't exist in my dictionary, kind of thing. For example, when I'm writing my scripts, I start to think of new things. When I'm writing scripts, by the way, I tend to write two or three scripts at a time. For a lot of people, that's like, why do you do that? Why are you going all over the place? I am that kind of person, you know. By the way, when I do video editing, I always watch some kind of YouTube video or movie or anime and such, but I always watch two at a time. By the way, I watch two movies or two anime at a time while I work and do video editing. But I guess I still get things done, and I still have a lot of people telling me that they like my videos. I guess in the end that's good, but I'm definitely very far away from concentration. And Harumi, on the other hand, because she has such a high level of concentration, she's able to give birth to new things. I'm very, very bad at giving birth to new things myself. Yeah, I'm much more better at mimicking things. Yeah, and that's the reason why my video editing, the way I talk in my videos and such, are all actually combinations of very famous YouTubers in Japan, actually, and I've actually learned from them. Yeah. So I think concentration part of me is just really, really amazing that I would never ever have. And in terms of concentration, I think, yeah, Harumi is absolutely number one. Tomoko and Kazu probably have like the same amount. Yeah, I think Tomoko might have a little bit higher of concentration. Next comes Kazu, and then I have zero concentration. So it's really, really funny when we talk about these things, when we talk about these differences among our team. Yeah. And number three. Oh, sorry, number one. Coming number three, that's the third one I'm saying is number one. This is the most amazing part about Harumi. This actually applies for outside of business too, but the capacity for sympathy and empathy is Harumi's most amazing ability, skill, power that she has, I think. So Harumi, although she does have a lot of things that she wants to do, she does have a strong will, a big dream and such. She can always, what should I say, be flexible for the people who she talks with, interacts with. Yeah, I always make that mistake. So what happens is that because she doesn't have such a high pride, her what should I say? Her personality isn't that super strong, but rather soft and flexible. She is capable of making a lot of people very calm, And for example, even if the person was a person who she met for the first time, she's able to make them think that, oh, I'm able to feel really relieved in front of this person, kind of that makes sense. So ever since we've met when we were in university, whenever she meets a new person, that person would always tell her, I just feel so relaxed, when I talk with Harumi, And I think that was one of the biggest reasons why Tomoko actually got friends with Harumi a lot too. Yeah. Because in the beginning, when we met, Tomoko and I were best friends from the beginning. And then Harumi, once we were at Beijing University in China to study abroad, that's where we met Harumi, right? So I started dating Harumi in China. So basically, I knew Tomoko before Harumi. So Harumi was like, oh, so Shogo has a best friend who is a girl, And in the beginning, there was like, how should we talk to each other kind of thing. But very quickly, they started to get along, and they became much more best friends than I was best friends with Tomoko. But I think one of the biggest reasons was definitely Harumi with her skills of sympathy and empathy. She's just really, whenever someone smiles, she smiles. Whenever someone cries, she cries, And she just reflects herself. She's like a mirror, of that person in front of her. Of course, that doesn't mean that she's like completely always floating, going over the place. She does have her own opinion, but when it comes to the point where she's actually having conversation with someone, she is a person who could really, really, should I say, tries to relate to the other person and listen. Listening is very important in communication, right? And she can actually do that. I always try to, but it's difficult, isn't it? Especially a person like me who wants to sit down and talk to a microphone every morning, have people listen to all the random thoughts inside your mind. I am definitely not the very good person for sympathy and empathy, I'm pretty sure. But I really think that Harumi is just amazing with this skill. And what's amazing, as I said earlier, this is amazing outside of business too, but again, this is amazing for business and team building and everything as well, because just having one person like Harumi just makes the air, the atmosphere in the team, in the room, when we have a meeting, for example, just makes it much more, what should I say, relaxing, I just really can't get to the right word here. Comfortable, and things like that, Yeah, it just makes it much more softer, I guess. Yeah, because I'm the kind of person who really has a really strong, I want to do it this way, or I think we should do it this way. I always, of course, listen to the opinions of my team. Otherwise, my team members would hate me, right? Yeah, but they don't listen. I'm pretty sure I do listen to them. But I still, as a leader, am responsible, for getting good results for our team. So in the end, I need to make the decisions. So I'm rather of a stronger person. Whereas, Tomoko is much more. Tomoko, I'm sorry, Harumi is much more, should I say, soft and listening to others. So she kind of takes the balance. Sometimes I need to say, what I was trying to say, by the way, earlier was that I need to say no to Tomoko. Sometimes have to say no to Kazu. Like, they give me a suggestion and I can't agree with it. And in the end, I need to take responsibility for everything. So in the end, after the discussion, I have to say no to them. But Harumi would always also be listening to the conversation, and she'll be a really good cushion in between us, if that makes sense. And I think just that skill, among all of these sense of creativity, a sense of design, concentration, among all of these amazing skills, I think this is definitely the highest skill that Harumi has. And again, when I talked about Kazu's amazing abilities, I also said that his skill was to make everyone laugh, That is really amazing too, I think. That's something that I can't do either. But almost among the same as Kazu's skill of making everyone laugh and Harumi's skill, capacity of sympathy and empathy. I think these two skills are really amazing. And that's the reason why Tomoko and I, the two people who have very strong, I and my, me, the reason why we're able to get along is definitely thanks to Kazu and Harumi. And as I said in the beginning, lastly, I'd like to talk a little bit about the reason why I love my wife so much. And I'm actually quite asked this question quite often because, I made the decision to get married with Harumi very, very soon, very early in my life. I was still 22, 21 years old, I think, when I proposed to Harumi, I think. 21 years old, possibly. Yeah. So, a lot of people ask me, like, how were you able to make such a big decision when you were young? Like, weren't you scared? Weren't you worried? How were you sure that this marriage would be a success? And I always tell them, like, how are you sure, What do you like about your wife so much? And I always tell them, what I love about my wife is her existence. Her existence. She's there. And that's the reason why I love her. It's almost like asking, like you go and see a very beautiful scenery. Go to the Grand Canyon. I've been there before, actually. Go to the Grand Canyon and see the scenery there. Climb up Mount Fuji. Look down in Japan. The scenery there. Maybe a beautiful sunset. Sunrise it could be, too. Do you think you would ask that person, why do you think think this scenery is beautiful? Why? Why? Because I thought it's beautiful, right? Because it's beautiful. Because it's there, I'm seeing it right now. And that's the reason why I think it's beautiful and I love it. That's exactly the feeling I have for my wife. Yeah. And I really think, of course, it's good. Of course, as I said, we were talking about today, of course, I could line up the things that I like about Harumi, or what the things that I respect about my wife. But the reason why, whenever someone asks me, why do you love your wife, I don't like saying things or lining up the skills and abilities that Harumi has, is because I don't love her for that. And when I start lining up the things that she can do, eventually in life, there will be a time when she can't do that. Of course, the same for me. If we line up the things that I can do, and that's the reason why she loves me, eventually once I become a grandpa, there's going to be a lot of things I can't do. Maybe I won't be able to walk anymore. Maybe I won't be able to talk anymore. Maybe I won't be able to write and read and write anymore, swing swords anymore, and so on and so forth. It's the same for me. Being young, youth will eventually fade away, for everyone on this planet. So if I say I love Harumi being beautiful in terms of because she's young, or any woman, for example, that will eventually fade away. And that means your love will lessen, right? But absolutely for me, my love every single day for Harumi is just growing every single day. And that's because I just love her for her existence. And I always tell, especially my younger sister and brother, because they're a little bit younger than me, and they have been considering, getting married, in their lives and everything. I always tell them, the timing that you can absolutely say, okay, I am getting married. 100% sure is the moment when you can think that you love that person's existence. Otherwise, of course, it doesn't always go that way. It's impossible to always find a partner like that. So in that case, you could line up all the criteria. I don't know, the circumstances, and decide to get married or not. Marriage is just a contract, right? So it's up to you. But if you are still looking for a good reason for you to be 100% sure, I always tell them that if you can love that person's existence, go for it 100%. I will assure you that that marriage or that partnership, will definitely be a success. Then everyone, as I always say, the ultimate goal of my life is to make all Japan lovers' dreams come true. So I know that there's a lot of people studying Japanese, willing to come to Japan to study, work, and travel and such, and even train in traditional culture. However, I am very afraid that Japan will not be able to make everyone's dreams come true in the future because we're facing a lot of social problems. We are losing our traditional culture, and the younger generations who are supposed to be carrying on the good things about Japan are dying, literally, from suicide at the highest rate in the world because of all the social issues being shoved against them. And recently, I've actually been reading some articles of some statistics of asking young people in every country about if they have hope for their future, if they have confidence in themselves, and so on and so forth. And you can see from the data that the people in Japan, young people in Japan, have the least amount of hope for the future. And they have the least confidence that they'll be able to work in the international world and so on and so forth. And I think that's very, very sad too. So I really want to dedicate my life to try to make Japan a better place. I want to try to solve the social problems, preserve and evolve traditional culture, and help out the younger generation so they can have a brighter future. And to do that, the nearest goal that I have is to achieve 2 million subscribers by January 2023 on my main channel, so your likes and comments will help to boost my videos to new viewers. If you've never seen my videos before, so it'd be great if you can help me out. Everyone, thank you very much for listening to today's podcast too. Please let me know what you thought about my theory, my ideas of why I love Harumi so much. She's next to me right now. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Bye-bye.